Hey everybody, it's Benji, better known as MOICIARA, and I'm back with another video. You tuned in to another video, and today's topic is going to be about LOVE. So I want to talk about love in this particular video because I feel like it's important. Like we should, well, I should be talking about love because my past videos been some story times. It's kind of been like, to kind of get y'all acquainted with a little bit of my backstory, and maybe it'll make sense when I'm explaining this video on how my perspective is when it comes to love and relationships and all that business, because as girls we always got a story to tell, so you kind of got to go into the story before you can get into that little happy situation that you be in. So right, anyway, so this video, like this is gonna be about love. So I wanted to first, hold on, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so right, I want to talk about love, about, like I said, the ups, the downs, and kind of like being in that place where you're trying to maintain being in a relationship. And sometimes it can be hard because when you're been hurt and you've been abused and you lost a lot of trust and all that stuff going on, you really just don't, you be wanting a relationship, but it's kind of hard to put yourself in a position where you want to be comfortable being in a relationship, because it's like you just don't have time to be wasted. You don't have time for the games. You don't have time for the drama. You don't have time for the heartache, the headache, all that crazy stuff, because it can be a lot at times. So I want to break it all down. So first, I just want to say, as far as when it comes to being hurt in a relationship, I think it's one of the hardest things to get over. I don't care what's going on in your life. A lot of people say, oh, you have to heal and carrying on and stuff like that. And healing is one thing. Like, you can heal from a lot of stuff, and you can kind of just be like, oh, okay, I've healed from it. I moved on. Like, it's not affecting me now. But it's just like this. I don't care what nobody say. There are going to be times in your life where something might just pop up, might trigger that. I don't care how healed you are. You can be married 10 years down the line. You can be living your best, fabulous life. But if something happens, you're going to respond. You're going to react to it. And it's just the way things are when you have put yourself in a position to reflect and go off something that you've been through and trying to heal from and carry on and stuff, because it can be a lot. It can really put you in a place in your relationship, in your life, where you can, have those moments or those flashbacks of being in those places when things weren't so great, they weren't so good, and when you're trying to walk, I guess, into like new territory, sometimes it becomes harder to like walk freely. Like, you're very cautious, you're very reserved. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you have yourself feeling like you're too vulnerable to be in a place where you think that you can openly give your time, your attention to someone, and they not reciprocate the same thing or give you what you feel like you deserve. Because we all deserve to be happy, we all deserve to be loved and cared for and things like that. And it can be extremely hard this day and age because social media, social media, it'll get you. It's so accessible, and no matter what nobody said, I don't care, there's somebody for everybody. But you got to keep in mind, like, social media can easily tear and destroy anything, because it's so, like, you can be feeling down, you think your man cheated on you, think your girl cheated on you, think whoever cheated on you, and then boom, in a blink of an eye, it don't happen just because of social media. Like, it can instantly happen just like that. And people seem to forget that we live in a day and age where it's like we have a mentality like where, it's not new. It's not new. I ain't like it's new, because it's not new. But we have a mentality like where you can just be in a position where if somebody ain't gonna do, somebody else will do better. And we have lived off of that and that moral and that value for so long because we've been taught or conditioned when it comes to love and relationships. Like, we feel like we have to seek validation from someone else, or feel like we want it or need it from someone else because we're not necessarily getting in our relationship or whatever, or something, or necessarily something happens in our relationship and we don't know how to respond and react to it. And I'm gonna say an adult, a grown way, because you don't, that's the thing, like, you responded to something, but you don't want to feel like you're coming or attacking or creating issues for that person, and then that kind of puts you back in the same mind frame when it comes to love and values, when it comes to relationships, because you don't want to feel like what you're saying is being taken for granted or lightly, and you don't want to feel like you are just explaining yourself for nothing to change. Because if you're explaining and you're talking to somebody, like, you don't want them to feel like they have to become something else from what you know and who you grown to love and appreciate and stuff like that. But at the same time, you want to know, like, hey, I'm trying to call you out on your shit. This is what I need. This is what I expect. Because in the back of your mind, you're saying like, if you don't do, someone else will do better, period. And it's just like, we have that mentality due to the fact that I told my best friend, like, I was gonna get this tattoo, like, not probably where this one's at, but yeah, I went to get a tattoo on my neck, like right here, that says love sucks. Because it's not because it's true, like, point blank period, it's true, it's extremely true. Love does sucks, but like, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because love sucks in a way where, like, it's something that we want, we crave, it's something that we can enjoy and embrace and really, like, we can really accept and acknowledge in our lives. But then it's the other side, when you have to think about all, like, the bad stuff, you know, like those story times. Now, if you ain't watched my story times, you might want to go watch them, then get caught up and then watch this video, just so you can know what's really going on out here in these streets. So, right, like, it's that bad side of being in those positions, being in those places with people who didn't value you, didn't respect you, didn't give you what you wanted, didn't give you what you needed, didn't honor you, didn't try to show the commitment level of how things need to be when you're explaining yourself, what you expect from them, what they expect from you. Because it's a two-way street. Like, I don't want this video to be mistaken as if, like, you know, this is a one-man show. Like, it goes both ways. I was speaking of, I don't know if my little baby gonna watch this video, but nonetheless, shout out to my wrinkled background. But nonetheless, so but anyway, the thing is though, I don't know why it seemed like it's so dusty in here. Anyway, but nonetheless, it's like, it's a very two-way street. Like, you want to be able to be in a place where you both are valuing and respecting one another, and you're offering the same thing to one another. Because if not, then what are you doing? You're literally all wasting each other's time. And I'm 31. I don't have time to waste. Like, I don't have time to waste. Like, I really don't have time to waste. Like, when I say I ain't got time to waste, y'all, I do not have time to waste. Because it's just that simple. Like, when I've spent most of my 20s being in the position of wanting love, wanting trust, and wanting to be in a relationship, and when you're on this place of being up here, then it goes from here, and on down, it's like you don't have the same value for it. And I hate that as we grow and we experience things, we allow those things to dictate how we move in a relationship. Because I'm sorry, I'm not one of those people who be like, well, I don't have a past, and I'm not going to treat you and go based off of those merits. No, you're going to treat a person based off of what you know, because that's the part about learning and growing. Because those bad experiences going to teach you the red flags for this experience. So when you have those good experiences, you'll know what to ride on and what to do. So you'll be in a position where you are allowing yourself to embrace the change of being with someone who's willing to reciprocate what you're asking and acknowledging of them. Because it's just simple. Men aren't, and y'all know what I mean, like, men aren't, and it's just that simple. So it's like, to find someone who is, it's extremely challenging, you know. Like, it's extremely challenging, because if they offer this, then they probably don't offer that. Offer this, they don't offer that. And then you kind of have to feel like you're settling. And I know personally, me, like, I'm in a place where I don't want to settle. Like, if I love you, I care for you, and I respect you or whatnot, like, if I just feel like we're not in a place where we're, like, equally yoked, or we're growing together, or we're valuing each other's, like, life as a whole, like, we don't have anything. Because it's not going to do nothing but continue to keep growing farther and farther apart, and we'll separate because not because of the connection, not because of the love, but it's the fact that there's no respect, there's no value there. And since there's no respect, there's no value there, it's like, what are we doing? We literally are wasting each other's time. Because at the end of the day, If you don't have no respect, you don't have trust, you don't have loyalty, you don't have anything pertaining to being in a relationship with somebody, because they're going to always find a way to make it seem as if it's something about you. It's always like a ping pong match. Like y'all always constantly throwing everything back and forth at each other, and that's the importance about making sure that you have a solid foundation when you walking into a relationship. Like, you want to make sure that whoever you're dealing with or what have you, like, they know, like this is it. Like, this is me. This we gonna see on off every day. Like, it's not gonna be no, one way this. I'm this way one minute and then I'm this way the next. Like, it's gonna be point blank period. Like, everything. Like, you gotta just understand, like, you have to accept all of a person or nothing at all, and that's just it. And we, like I said, we live in a world where everything is so social media based, it's so fast paced. People don't want to take the quality time into really embracing a person. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it's not the easiest thing, because when you've been hurt, it's challenging to put yourself in a mind frame of being like, okay, well, I'm not gonna allow those things. But you have to, like, if you really, oh my God, if you really want to be on that level with someone, you have to know, like cut it just like that. Like, y'all already know, like, it's just that simple, because we have to learn to start valuing, like, our grandparents and parents and stuff, like, people whose parents and grandparents who don't made it past the 20 and 30 and 40, 50, 60. Like, it takes a lot of resilience, a lot of resilience to be in a position where you are allowing yourself to give yourself to a person over like that. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are settling to be with someone because they probably have 4 or 5 kids, or the money was good, the bills are paid, and things of that nature. But there's a lot of people who still, like, I see a lot of lovers who come in the store, where I work at, and they come in and they really, show that, like, they here. Like, it's not something that they like, oh my God, we managed to make it this far. Like, you can tell, like, the love is still there, and that's when the connection is real with somebody, because you're not, everything's not gonna be good, everything's not gonna be bad or whatever. But you have to know, like, I've been a firm believer in knowing what battles to pick and choose, because everything isn't a problem. Sometimes things can subside and everything will be fine. Like, but sometimes you do have to call things out and be very specific and very driven and focused on what exactly that is, so you can try to see the change and the growth. Because if not, then I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Like, you have to cut your losses, because if it's something that you really want, then no matter how much you love or respect that person, then you're not going to want to be with them long term. Like, you're not going to settle. Like, you're going to be like, well, since you can't offer me this and you can't do that, and like, you can't do that. Because, like I said, I've been on that end of the stick of settling and being with people who could and who couldn't, or what have you. And it's just, like I said, as I've gotten older, I know that I can't be in that place to just be coasting along and just like, I'm not 16 years old. I'm not trying to get a movie date. I'm not trying to get a little stroll around the neighborhood where you going to the gas station to get me something to eat or to drink or whatever, like a little McDonald's. Like, it's just the fact that you gotta understand, like, if you don't put yourself in if you don't value yourself to a certain place or a certain degree of what you want and how you want it, a person will instantly walk all over you, child. And they will allow themselves to think that that's okay for them to keep pitching pennies, when it comes to, like, the monetary value of what they feel like they can do for you. I don't want to say love, because it's not that. It's not a monetary value for love, but it's more so about the monetary value of what they're doing for you. Because if you're not willing to allow yourself to be in a position where you're able to care, I ain't gonna say carelessly love and spend money for someone, then you'll always be in a position of them always being like, well, all I got is this, versus like, what you need, this what we gonna do, set it up. Like, everything is a plan. Like, when you're in a relationship, becomes a partnership. Like when you get past the little, oh baby, love you, all that stuff. Like once you really have to focus on the building aspect of things, like it's a team effort. Like it's something that you guys are doing together. Like it's on top of, on top of, on top of, on top of. Like I see a lot of people who are successful together because they focus on, like, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to do it, this is what we want to do, and no one's getting in the way of that. We will not be deterred from anything when it comes to us building our empire, our relationship. Like, this is what we want. We want something solid. Because clearly, when people are focused like that, it's because they ain't never seen it before. It's something that they are putting themselves out there on the limb to really strive to do or what have you, and see themselves be successful. Because I just know I just really don't want to be in another fair relationship. Like, because I've been there, I've done that so many times or what have you, and I'm not acting like I'm perfect either. Like I'm not or whatever. It's just I know my value, I know my worth, and I know what I want. Like, and that's the thing. Like if you don't know what you want when it comes to love, but it's also about somebody showing you what they're willing to give you. Like you shouldn't have to feel like it's a tug of war. Like you have to pull and pull to get this and that. Third. I like, no, it shouldn't be that. Like, cause if it's that simple for me to have to, if it's that hard for me to have to explain myself and express myself to you, then we will never have that unfiltered, that unquitted love when it comes to how we're doing things and how we're going to do it, because we have put up a barrier of seeing who's going to go first or what have you. Like you can't do that. Like when you balls to the wall, like you have to just pull it all off. Like like me, no lashes, no weave, no nothing. Like it is like, okay, my nails probably ain't going nowhere. Like these ain't going nowhere, but everything else can go. But it's just like it has to be that simple. Like you have to be willing to allow those dark days to strengthen your character for whatever what you're currently in and what you're building and what you're trying to establish with someone. Because if not, you lose yourself for one. I've done that too. We have plenty more story times, girls and boys. We also have a lot more good, healthy relationship videos as well. And then just live videos too. I really want to talk about that. Because we just gonna, we'll come back to the whole relationship, yada yada stuff. But it's just, I really kind of want to get into like more so focus and like the breakdown of how this all gonna go, like as far as in how the structure, like how I want my channel to be. Like I want it to be the story times or whatever, and I want to have this happy medium of expressing my definition and my terms and my understanding of love and the value of it. But then I also want you to be aware of that dark and that toxic side of things when it comes to places where you're with someone who's pretty much draining you. And it doesn't necessarily be a monetary thing, but it could just be mentally, it can be physically. Like you're not really feeling like there's no real value to who you are or whatever. But all in all, just rounding this all out or whatever, I really want to say thank you guys. I appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support. Please keep watching my channel, subscribe, like, comment, share the videos. Like tell your mama, tell your grandma, tell your little cousin, your little brother, your little sister, your little whatever about my channel, because we want big things popping over here or what have you. So once again, I appreciate all the love. Thank you guys. Until next time. Hi.